Okay, ladies and gentlemen, Croeso nôl, welcome back to the main stage. We're going to turn our attention now to Text Flex Challenge, the live competition. It's all about pitching for gold, and it's the over 16s right now, I believe. So excited for... What are we doing? 14 to 16, glad you know. Good stuff. Okay, so the challenge is quite simple. We've invited young minds to develop business concepts that leverage technology to solve real-world problems. Teams had to identify a challenge and create a technology-focused business plan that makes a difference. The shortlisted teams are here, they're ready to go and pitch to live industry leaders and potentially kickstart their entrepreneurial journey right here in Wales. Now, the Text Flex Challenge is supported by Cardiff Region and IQ EPLC, and thanks to them, the prize is pretty special. The winning team will get £1,000 for their school and a tablet for each team member. So our judges are back. They were very kind earlier on, so let's see if they're kind again. So please give them a warm welcome. We've got Tina Owen, Tom Kinnear, Dr. Imtiaz Khan, and Gareth Gooding. They're there in the front row. Give them a round of applause, please. And also, we've got our teams ready to go. So the rules are quite simple. They have 5 minutes to pitch, and then we'll have questions from the judges. And we will announce our winners at 2:15 today. So make sure you're back at 2:15 for the final result on this. Okay, let's get to our first team then. Let's give them a very warm welcome to the stage. Please welcome Innovators.
Stay close to me.
Good. Good afternoon, judges. Hope you're all having a great day so far, and thank you for giving us the opportunity to present our idea, NeuroWare. NeuroWare is a technological system which detects early signs of learning disabilities in students. It would be implemented in websites such as Google Classroom, Canva, and Seneca, as they are all commonly used in lessons across the UK. NeuroWare would look out for unusual behavior patterns, such as short focus spans and consistent spelling mistakes, as these can be seen as mild, yet still early signs of learning disabilities. If these learning signs are detected, then the system would notify the student's teacher with the student's name, the behavioral issue, and a possible course of action for the student's education. I would like to strongly emphasize, however, that NeuroWare is not a diagnostic system, as this should be left to medical professionals. Our overall goal as a team is not to help doctors diagnose their patients, but to ensure that every student in every school is able to get the support and help they need to progress the same amount or even more than their peers. On to the next slide.
Thank you, Dan. Now, one big question that could be asked would be, how could this be beneficial to teachers or even schools? Well, NeuroWare is a major factor in education and learning. Teachers will use our system to support struggling students. These struggling students will be given learning patterns in which will then provide feedback on the learner's progress. This is an advantage for the student because it will prevent them from falling behind their peers. Our system will provide daily progress checks to inform the teacher about their progress. Advantages of our system could be quick support, seen as our system will provide daily progress checks, specific learning plans that will specifically adapt to the learner's capabilities, and feedback will be given. This is also an advantage because it will help the learner improve on their weaknesses.
You might be wondering, how will we achieve this? Well, we will achieve this by making yearly subscriptions that can be sold to schools worldwide. NeuroWare will help and guide students through their assignments by using our automatic and easy-to-use system that can also help with revision and flag up whether a student may or may not have a disability so that the school can help that student achieve their better grades. NeuroWare will give a good impact on grades and also give students the ambition that they can achieve their full potential.
Technology will play an important role within our idea. It is a system that will use pattern recognition to detect signs of learning disabilities, such as ADHD or autism. This will allow us to use technology for the betterment of humanity and also make people with learning disabilities feel more equal. Furthermore, we can also use the amount of people that get referred to professionals and the amount that get diagnosed to help develop our system. We can also use the data we collect to find the best ways to teach neurodiverse students. As well, I'd like to mention that this is not a diagnostic system, but a system to help people get the help they need.
So, you might be thinking, why did we pick this idea? Well, we picked this idea to help struggling students achieve the best grades possible. This may lead them to enjoy education more, school life more, and even improve their willingness to learn. When we thought of this idea, it was ADHD Awareness Month. 6 to 10% of young people suffer from ADHD, with 15 to 20% of the world population suffer from dyslexia. Our idea wouldn't just be helping a minority, it would be helping a lot of people. Furthermore, our idea would stop the inequality in schools, given that 61% of young people who suffer from learning disabilities graduate, whereas 81% of people who don't suffer from learning disabilities graduate. Our idea would fix this. Thank you for listening. We are the innovators.
So thank you very much. That was a really, really good pitch. And it's clear that you've really thought this through in terms of your solution. I've got a, and the other point, actually, sorry, just to make before I ask the question, to be that aware that, the self-awareness aspect that it's not a diagnostic tool, I think is really, really important. And the fact that you've centered on the student and the schools rather than actually trying to get a diagnostic again is really, really good. In terms of the research that you've done, and it's a similar question from the previous sessions, what research did you do to get to the point of this is the area of focus for our idea?
We carried out various types of secondary research to get our statistics. We also asked our fellow students on their opinions of our idea to see how the public would react to it. And yeah, basically we found out that a lot of people don't like to speak up about their mental problems. So we each found that this idea would help get them the support that they need.
Yeah, wow, really, really good. Like to get to that point and do that research for it. Yeah, really impressive.
Hi everyone. A really good pitch, a really good solution as well. And I think that supporting everyone in school to have an enjoyable experience is really important. I just want to know, how does it work? So you said obviously it's not a diagnostic tool, which I'm glad you mentioned, but how do you monitor the behaviours and how do you report on those behaviours? And then do you then give those statistics to the teacher? So I just want to understand the process. So you're in a classroom, you notice the behaviours, what happens next, please?
Well, this system could be implemented into Google Classroom, which is a specific classroom for the teacher. So it isn't overloaded with a lot of information. So it'd be separate accounts for each class. It would get the average of that class or the average for the UK and compare each student separately to it. And then if there's any unusual behavior recognized, they would report back to the teacher through either email or Google Classroom itself, and recommend a course of action for the student. Do you want to add?
Can I answer that? It's also good because it means the student doesn't actually have to say they, like we said, some people don't like to speak up, but it would just get in naturally, and maybe the teachers could have a word if they need any extra help or something. So, yeah.
I'd also like to add some ways that we could detect this could be incorrect spelling or how do I say it? Yeah, grammar, focus spans, things that make the students stand out.
So would you be looking at using an AI solution to literally scan all documentation related to each student to be able to generate alerts and prepare for awareness? Is that what you would do?
I think that AI would be used for this idea, and it's another reason that it's not a diagnostic system, because AI isn't as reliable as medical professionals, which is why this only gives advice to the teacher about the students rather than saying that this student has this and that student has that. So that it's more rounded.
Thank you, well done.
Yeah, really good concept. I've got a niece who's neurodiverse, so instantly kind of connected with this one. So well done on developing this one so far. Not so much as questions, because you've answered some good ones so far. It's just really thinking of that selling the system to the schools. Should it be more of a charitable kind of funded way? Because if you do have to sell it to schools, you kind of, victimizing schools who don't buy it. So what are your thoughts on that, really?
This could be a system where the government could give out grants for those schools that couldn't afford it, because like we said, everyone deserves it, because everyone deserves to be equal, and it would help a lot of children.
Yeah, no, that's perfect, guys. And again, just a bit of reference, when I was a child growing up, a lot of people weren't diagnosed early enough. Later on in life, it was too late. So it's a really good concept, so well done.
Hi, excellent presentation. So I was just wondering, is it the Google Classroom thing that you are only getting the data from, or do you see the scanning of the documents, or particularly this the social data from the social media platforms, the usability of social media platform, because that has some sort of a direct link with, even if that person doesn't have learning disability, but with the teaching and learning, and etc.
For the Google Classroom part, teachers can post work that you have to do on slides and docs through the Classroom stream, and that can be connected, and the system can connect to both Google Classroom and the work attached by students. So it could be initially added to Google Classroom, but it also goes into Google Slides, Google Docs, and Canva through the stream. And Seneca, yeah. So it goes through the stream for that point.
What about, do you think about it connecting with the social media, with their...
Well, like using it to advertise.
Yeah, how many times or how many hours they are spending in internet or...
Yeah. I think that with the rise of AI and the rise of robotics, classes should be using Chromebooks and computers a lot more, because they need to get used to what they will have to do when they're older, because the whole point of school is to prepare them for the outside world. And the amount of time that they will spend on the internet outside of school after they leave is really, really large. Therefore, they need to spend, obviously, more time on it.
Also, with the internet part, obviously we go to school, and a lot of our work's done online, so we kind of know firsthand.
All right, thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Some tough questions there, judges. Well done, guys. Fantastic job. Please give them a massive round of applause. Our first team, the innovators. Yeah, da iawn chi. Absolutely fantastic. Okay, our next team up on stage, they've been prepping since early this morning as well. Both teams here about 8 o'clock this morning, fair play to them, ready for this presentation. So please welcome to the stage, Ser Sgleiniog.
Stay close to me.
Good morning, everyone. Let us start by taking a moment and looking around us. Everything you can see, touch, and breathe comes from one source, our planet. Yet, in the span of a single lifetime, we've pushed this incredible home of ours to its limits. Forests disappear faster than we can plant new ones. Oceans are filling up with plastic instead of life. And the air we rely on is becoming a silent threat. No matter where you go, you will see rubbish on the floor. We need to change. We have to. We need to start from somewhere, whether it's big or small. As a group, we have created a design for an app named Binly, which we believe will help clear rubbish off streets, whilst also bringing people in the community together. But before we show you the design and the features of the app, let's start off with the issues.
Have a look at these pictures on the board. Do you recognize any of these places? I'm sure that some of you would at least recognize one, because most of these places are in Newport. So how can we stop our city looking like this in every direction? As someone who comes from a large family, managing waste, especially garden cuttings, is a constant struggle. Binly solves this by allowing people to request to use spare space in other residents' bins from the comfort of their home. No more wandering around and knocking on doors, hoping that someone is in. Think, how many times have you had to step onto the road just to avoid overflowing bins? How often have you taken a walk in the park only to see rubbish spilling everywhere? Too many times. As someone who walks to school every day, I see it at least once or twice a day. Our app helps people dispose of rubbish properly, so you're never left wandering around bin to bin just for them all to be full. We want cleaner streets, safer sidewalks, and to live in a city where neither humans or animals have to live with overflowing bins.
As you can see behind me, here is the layout of Binly. As you can see, the red dot symbolizes the user's mobile device, whereas the blue radar around it shows the direction that the mobile phone is facing. As you can see as well, there are gray dots. These replicate the local public bins within the area. And as you can see at the bottom below, there are a few other functions.
For our app, we decided to use pseudonyms instead of real names, and this is to protect our users' privacy. When you first join our app, you get to choose a fun random name by spinning a wheel on our app. Then, after you enter your address, you automatically connect to people on your street. Each message shows the user's pseudonym as long as their address, so you know exactly who you're talking to. To prevent harassment, we've decided to go for set chat options. Instead of users typing freely, you simply tap a button to build your message. For example, you could tap a button and ask a question or ask a response. You then follow up by asking or requesting what it is that you need. If you select the question, you might then choose to ask, "Can I use your bin, please?" And then follow up by asking a specific, such as the red, blue, or green, or black bin. There is also a community tab that everybody in your area automatically joins when you join our app. Here, you'll be able to see reminders about rubbish day collections, as well as other local important information notices that you'd like to be made aware of. Finally, our app can alert the council when bins are too full. That way, you won't see any more overflowing bins around your area.
Now, our last feature is the use of an AI bot. You can message the AI bot freely about where your rubbish should go. If you still don't know where your rubbish should go or you can't tell, you can use the camera feature and upload a photo to the AI.
Putting rubbish in the bin may seem like a small action, but small actions lead to big changes. Thank you for listening, and we hope that you join us in making a cleaner future and habits that can save our city.
Fantastic stuff. Great stuff. Thank you. Keep that microphone for the judges' questions. Great stuff. Great work. Da iawn chi. Okay, judges, your questions, please.
Oh, great stuff. I was just wondering, because it's a community-based recycling approach, right? So how would you, through this app, how would you kind of motivate the community to join this app and they would use it?
Well, mainly, most families are quite big and their bins are overflowing. If we advertise it to them, present it to them, they might realize that, hey, this is a good idea and it might be worth using.
I know from experience, well, I know that a lot of people in my neighborhood would love to have this app because we all are constantly facing the same struggle. And I know people that are already willing to sign up to it if it was created.
And they would share their bin space if they have and things like that.
Yeah.
So. All right, thank you.
Yeah, good presentation, good concept. It's quite direct, so it's very good. What's the you thought of how to expand it further into a bigger product?
We've thought of quite a few more features, as in the bigger bins, the more space there is, you can request to use it from the government, because there are quite a lot of people who don't have space, and we believe that if there are more opportunities to put your rubbish, people will use them instead of just throwing them away anywhere where they see fit.
Yeah, and then, you know, I'm thinking more of the business side then, you know, link in with the BIFAs, and businesses could then alert those for early calls as well. So it looks quite an expandable platform. And as you mentioned, the market research, you've done quite a bit of research on, would it be adoptable?
Yeah, so we've done quite a lot of primary research, especially around like different neighborhoods around Newport. And we found that around 80% of the neighborhoods struggle with getting rid of rubbish in one way or another. And quite recently, I think some of the bin collections have gone to less frequently, and there are a lot of people struggling with that. So, yeah, I think our app would really benefit.
Oh, great, thank you.
Hi, that was an outstanding presentation. Well done, very captivating. I think no questions from me, just a bit of feedback. I think the solution is wonderful. I think we should be keeping our streets and our countrysides a lot cleaner, and we do see bins overflowing. And I do think you've hit on a sweet spot. So when my children were at home, it was a problem for rubbish. Now my children have left home, I don't have that problem anymore. So I could share my bins with somebody else who is having the problem that I had previously. So I think it's a great solution. I love the idea, I love the concept. I think it'd be really good for you to work with a local authority. So maybe work with Newport Local Authority on this solution and see how you can collaboratively get it to market. Because I do think it's very good, so well done.
Yeah, echo all the really positive comments from esteemed judges. I guess I've got a question for yourselves in terms of this experience. So, how have you found it? And I guess what's probably the one key learning that you've got out of this whole process?
I think a main thing that we all kind of discussed really was how much we collaborated together. We are just classmates, but I feel like not only does our idea bring communities together and solves an issue, it helped bring us together as students and expand on ideas, collaborate together, think of new ideas and innovations that can really help out people. And we feel like this is an idea that lots of communities will really appreciate and definitely will take into hand.
Brilliant, yeah, and the teamwork is such an important part of this. So you're on a really good footing to start this off. So well done.
Thank you.
Fantastic stuff. Give them a round of applause one more time. Sir Sgleiniog, da iawn chi. Okay, two teams absolutely smashed it, and unfortunately our final team, Team 404, couldn't be here today, but we do commend the work that they have done, but sadly they couldn't attend today, so judges, you can rest for now, you are done, and you can go off and debate and decide who the winners are. 2:15 is the time, please be back here before that to find out who's won in both categories of our challenge and our pitches today. It's been absolutely fantastic, the standard's been really high, so well done to all the teams that have taken part. So now go and enjoy your lunch, take a break, but before we do that, please put your hands together for both teams, please, and our judges. Diolch yn fawr iawn.